Savannah Guthrie has made one of the most emotional appeals of her career after shocking new details emerged in the mysterious disappearance of her mother, Nancy Guthrie. A case that has already captured national attention has now taken another heartbreaking turn, leaving investigators, family members, and the public searching for answers. Newly revealed ransom notes have added even more questions to an investigation that has been filled with uncertainty from the very beginning. While authorities continue working around the clock, Savannah is refusing to give up hope. She says her family is living through every parent's worst nightmare, and now she is asking the public for one thing that could change everything: information. For months, millions of people have followed every development in this heartbreaking case. What began as the disappearance of an elderly woman has grown into one of the most talked about investigations of the year. Every new update has only made the mystery deeper, and now the release of the ransom notes has brought a flood of new speculation. Investigators believe someone out there may recognize something hidden within the letters, whether it is the wording, the handwriting, or a small detail that seemed meaningless at the time. Authorities believe one clue could finally unlock the truth. Nancy Guthrie disappeared from her home under circumstances that investigators immediately described as suspicious. Family members were left devastated after realizing she was gone without explanation. There were no obvious signs that she had simply wandered away, and the situation quickly escalated into a major investigation. Detectives began interviewing neighbors, reviewing surveillance footage, and following every possible lead. As days turned into weeks and weeks turned into months, hope was mixed with growing concern that something far more serious had happened. Savannah Guthrie has remained remarkably composed in public despite the unimaginable pain her family has been experiencing. Many viewers know her as the calm and confident television journalist who delivers breaking news every morning, but behind the cameras, she has been fighting a deeply personal battle. She has repeatedly thanked supporters for their prayers while asking everyone to continue sharing her mother's story. According to Savannah, every passing day without answers feels like an eternity. The latest breakthrough came when investigators decided to release 2 ransom notes connected to the case. Officials explained that they had kept the letters confidential for months while following investigative leads. Eventually, they reached the conclusion that making the notes public could generate new information. It was a difficult decision, but one they believed might encourage someone with knowledge of the crime to finally come forward. The first ransom note immediately shocked investigators because of its direct and threatening language. The writer claimed responsibility for Nancy's disappearance and demanded an enormous amount of money. The letter warned the family not to involve law enforcement and insisted that any attempt to contact police would place Nancy in even greater danger. Like many ransom demands, it attempted to create fear while convincing the family that following instructions was the only way to keep their loved one alive. The second note painted a very different picture. Instead of continuing the demand for money, the writer claimed Nancy had died after being taken. The letter suggested her death had not been intentional and offered what sounded like an apology. Even more disturbing, it claimed her remains had been left somewhere in nature without revealing a specific location. Investigators have stressed that these claims have never been confirmed, and they continue treating the case as an active investigation. For Savannah, reading those words was almost impossible. Imagine waiting months for news about someone you love, only to be confronted with a letter that raises even more painful questions. Instead of bringing closure, the notes created another wave of heartbreak. The family still has no confirmed answers, and investigators continue searching for evidence that can verify or disprove what was written. After the release of the letters, Savannah made an emotional public statement that touched millions of people. She described the agony her family has experienced since her mother's disappearance. She explained that every morning begins with hope, and every night ends with unanswered questions. She said no family should ever have to experience this level of uncertainty and heartbreak. Her message was not directed only at investigators or the media. It was directed at ordinary people who may unknowingly hold an important piece of information. Savannah urged anyone who recognizes the handwriting, remembers suspicious activity, or noticed something unusual around the time Nancy disappeared to contact authorities immediately. She reminded everyone that even the smallest detail can become the key that solves a major case. What has made this story especially emotional is the dignity with which Savannah has handled herself throughout the ordeal. Instead of allowing grief to overwhelm her public appearances, she has continued working while quietly carrying unimaginable emotional weight. Viewers have praised her strength, saying they had no idea she was enduring such pain while continuing her professional responsibilities. As soon as the ransom notes became public, social media exploded with reactions. Thousands of people expressed sympathy for Savannah and her family. Others shared the case across different platforms in hopes that someone would recognize the details contained in the letters. True crime communities also began carefully examining every available fact, hoping that fresh eyes might notice something investigators had overlooked. Experts have also weighed in on the letters themselves. Some believe the differences in tone between the two notes could indicate more than one person was involved. Others suggest the change in language may reflect a shift in circumstances after the kidnapping occurred. While these theories remain speculative, they have fueled intense discussion about what really happened behind the scenes. Investigators, however, continue focusing only on evidence. They have repeatedly reminded the public that theories circulating online should not be mistaken for confirmed facts. Every tip must be carefully verified before conclusions can be reached. This cautious approach may frustrate some observers, but detectives insist it is necessary to protect the integrity of the investigation. One of the most heartbreaking aspects of the case is the uncertainty surrounding Nancy herself. Without confirmed evidence explaining what happened, the family continues living between hope and grief. That emotional limbo is often described as one of the most painful experiences families of missing persons can endure. There is no clear ending, no opportunity to properly mourn, and no certainty about what tomorrow may bring. Savannah has also spoken about her mother as more than just the subject of a national headline. She describes Nancy as a loving mother, a caring grandmother, and someone who always placed family above everything else. Friends have echoed those sentiments, remembering her kindness, generosity, and ability to make everyone around her feel welcome. These personal memories remind the public that behind every investigation is a real family whose lives have been forever changed. The investigation itself remains active. Detectives continue examining forensic evidence, reviewing digital records, and interviewing witnesses. Authorities have emphasized that no lead is considered too small. Every phone call, every email, and every anonymous tip is reviewed carefully because history has shown that many major cases are solved through information that initially appeared insignificant. Public interest in the case has remained unusually strong. Unlike many investigations that slowly fade from headlines, this story continues attracting attention because of the emotional impact and the high-profile nature of Savannah's career. Every new development immediately becomes national news, bringing renewed focus to the search for answers. Some people have questioned whether releasing the ransom notes was the right decision. Investigators acknowledge that revealing evidence is never taken lightly. However, they believe the potential benefits outweigh the risks. Someone may recognize a phrase, a writing style, or another detail that investigators alone could never identify. Sometimes the public becomes an investigation's greatest resource. Throughout this ordeal, Savannah has consistently refused to lose faith. Even while acknowledging the pain of each passing day, she continues asking people not to stop looking, not to stop sharing, and not to stop hoping. Her determination has inspired many viewers who have followed the case from the beginning. Support has poured in from colleagues, celebrities, and viewers across the country. Many have described Savannah as incredibly courageous for speaking publicly while enduring such personal tragedy. Messages of encouragement continue appearing online, reminding the family they are not facing this nightmare alone. Still, sympathy alone cannot solve the mystery. Investigators continue emphasizing that what they need most is information. They believe someone knows something that has not yet been shared. Whether out of fear, uncertainty, or simply not realizing its importance, that missing piece of information may still be waiting to surface. Cases involving ransom notes often become incredibly complex because investigators must separate genuine evidence from attempts to mislead authorities. Every sentence, every word choice, and every physical characteristic of the documents is analyzed in detail. Specialists examine handwriting, language patterns, fingerprints, DNA evidence, and even the materials used to produce the letters. Meanwhile, the emotional toll on the Guthrie family continues growing. Living without answers creates a unique kind of pain. Birthdays, holidays, and family gatherings become constant reminders of someone who should still be there. Every ringing phone raises hope, and every day without news brings fresh disappointment. Despite these challenges, Savannah continues urging compassion rather than anger. Her focus remains on finding the truth rather than assigning blame before the investigation is complete. That approach has earned admiration from many people who believe her dignity has remained extraordinary throughout this heartbreaking journey. As investigators continue their work, the public waits alongside the family for meaningful developments. Whether the breakthrough comes from forensic science, a witness, or an anonymous tip, everyone hopes the truth will eventually emerge. Until that day arrives, the mystery surrounding Nancy Guthrie remains one of the year's most emotional and closely followed investigations. This story is far from over. Every new piece of evidence has the potential to reshape what investigators believe happened. Every public appeal keeps the case alive. Every shared post increases the chance that the right person will see the information. And every passing day reminds us why families of missing loved ones never stop searching. For Savannah Guthrie, this is not about headlines or television ratings. It is about bringing her mother home, discovering the truth, and finding the answers her family deserves. Her message remains simple, heartfelt, and unwavering. If you know anything, no matter how small it may seem, now is the time to speak up. One decision could change everything. As this investigation continues, millions of people will be watching for the next update, hoping that the mystery is finally solved and that Nancy Guthrie's family receives the closure they have been waiting for. Until that day arrives, Savannah's emotional plea continues to echo across the country, reminding everyone that behind every missing persons case is a family holding on to hope. Make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more celebrity updates just like this.